Hello everyone and welcome back to ESRL. We are here for round number 7 of this 12-round championship here in Baku. I do apologise for being a little bit late. I've been waiting for food which has not come. So we're doing this hungry, everyone. Oh well, could be worse. We're here in Baku for round number 7. And there was plenty of points to be won, plenty of championship important races to be decided, and this is absolutely going to be one of them. Whereas Clemo, championship leader, he's still on the inters, so he'll be doing a serious lap soon. But a lot of drivers out there today. We've got 17 on the grid, which is great to see. And the championship is hotting up now. Clemo has taken a huge lead in the Drivers' Championship as he is on the form of his life in F1 24 at the moment. And he proved it with a win in Singapore last week. I was ill last Friday, and if I had commentated that race, I think my voice would have just fully died. So we're here today, though, for Baku. Hello to Hamza in the chat. Welcome to the stream. We've got Zoxyrus on a lap in the Mercedes at the moment. The German 35.0 through Sector 1. A little tap of the wall there as he went through Turn 7. A big tap of the wall as he goes through the castle section. That will have cost him a lot of time. It's cost him a front right end plate as well. So this is definitely not going to be a competitive lap from Zoxyrus. He can much improve on this one as there's a Haas in front of him that needs to get out the way. It's just about navigating that corner with the wing damage. I'm not sure which Haas that is. I think that is J. Cole, but I'm not sure. But Zoxy's going to get a lovely toe off him, whoever it is, as he comes down towards the line now. He can use all the ERS he's got left. He's got the DRS as well. What a toe this is from the Haas for Zoxyrus. He deploys the DRS now, and down towards the final corner he goes. No, never mind. He goes into the pits, not willing to even complete that lap after it went a little bit disastrously. At the moment, it is Finley on the top of the standings with a 38 dead. Can Stephen Vasso, probably going to be the only one who can challenge him today. Can he get himself up there as well? A 34.2 in Sector 1. That is 8 tenths faster than what Zoxyrus just did, which is quite remarkable. But Vasso coming through the middle sector now. Can he get the castle section a little better than the Mercedes driver did a moment ago? Oh, he had to do a little correction there. That was very close to heading straight into the wall, but that was lightning fast through there from the Sauber driver, as he looks to challenge Finley for that pole position. Comes into the final sector soon, clatters his way over that curb. No fear whatsoever from Stephen Vasso, and through the last braking zone he goes, and down the final straight towards the line. Finley just dominating everything. This and Tier 1. Well, you haven't seen Vasso's lap yet, Hamza. Here he comes down the final straight and towards the line. What's it going to be from Stephen Vasso in the Sauber? It's looking very, very good indeed as I look at the time. Oh my goodness, this could be incredible. He comes across the line at 37.499. I don't think that is going to be beaten. Even Finley is going to be quite a way off that. I think he's half a second down right now is Finley. So Stephen Vasso really putting the kibosh on that one. Chalder coming through, but he is invalidated. Speed Alcoholic not up on his previous best through the first sector. Johnny Stokes coming through as well. The Season 6 champion of ESRL. Lou Simeons in the Ferrari coming through. There's going to be a huge gap between drivers today. I think the midfield is going to be very close together, but Finley and Vasso are going to be way, way ahead of everyone else. Johnny Stokes coming to the line now. We've got, that was, I think, Lou Simeons improving to P5. Meanwhile, just ahead, but Johnny Stokes, no improvement from him by the looks of it. He heads into the pit lane. What about Robin Brain? No improvement for him either. Actually, he's just coming to the end of Sector 1, so we're about to find out. across the sector line. He's 700ths down. What about Barvish? He's coming through the same part of the track in his McLaren. What can he do as he comes across the first sector line? It's going to be about a 10th down at this stage. Jackalacco on a lap as well. That was Mahmood going up to P8. Impressive from him. Scott improves by 7/10, goes up to 11th place. As we've got Barvish coming through as well in the middle sector. Robin Brain coming to the end of that middle sector as we're looking at him. There's the Mercedes of Clemo as well, the championship leader coming through that middle sector too. But let's stay on board with Barvish, with Robin Brain actually, because he's 6.5 tenths up in that middle sector. Down towards the line he goes as he burns all the rest of his ERS that he's got left, and he comes into the pits, does he? Is he coming in? No, he's staying out. He's going all the way down to the line. And Robin Brain, what's it going to be? Oh, it's a huge lap from Robin Brain. 1.3 second improvement. He goes up to 3rd place, which is essentially pole today, given those top two. That was Barvish coming into the pits. No improvement for him. What about Clemo? He goes to P8 only, the championship leader. 3-second improvement from the Inters, of course. But he's doing his very best at the moment, and at the moment it's not good enough. Down in 8th place is the race winner from last week. Mahmood quite a way off at the moment. What about Aces? Also a way off. Scott, though, he's coming through. He hits the wall on his way past on the straight. That's a very avoidable error. I'm not sure he's on a lap. He's going to get a tow from Aces, but how good is the lap going to be? Not good at all. Into the pits he comes. Oh my goodness, Scott. He's hit both walls. That was nearly an impromptu DNF there from the league owner. What about Zoxyrus? He's coming through the middle sector. It's 1 minute 15.5 through there from the German in the Mercedes. He's coming down towards the line now. It's just a straight. Well, there's corners, but it's flat out all the way through. And Zoxyrus all the way to the line. What's it going to be for his first run? Well, his first run he didn't invalidate, but he decided it wasn't good enough. He came all the way down to the line, and he's done the same again. Into the pits comes Zoxyrus. He's not happy at all with this track at the moment. Good evening to Speed in the chat. All clear skies for quali and the race. Thank you, Speed. That is good to know. As Trugster coming through as well. Is he on a lap? Well, he's using ERS, so it looks like he is. He doesn't have a lot left, though, so he's going to derate quite a lot down this straight. And this is going to be tough for Trugster. Can he improve? He only needs a few tenths, and no, it's not enough. He's into the pit lane. Wow. A lot of people struggling to improve here at Baku. Alright, the last runs are getting started now. A lot of people on outlaps. We've got Eisenborg on a lap at the moment. He's had a huge improvement, and he improves by 8 tenths, but he remains down in 16th. And, well, that's definitely the embodiment of the Nepenthes meme, isn't it? Easy top 3, easy top 3. And he ends up 16th. But almost the entire grid on an outlap right now. Robin Brain, the only one who isn't, but he's just coming out the pit lane now. It's going to be close. He should actually comfortably make it, though. He's still got 15 seconds or so to spare, so he should be fine. And he's going to come out with 1 minute 40 to go. in his Red Bull, but everyone on an out lap now, apart from Lou Simmons, who's just started his final run. So let's ride on board with the Ferrari. That looked a bit squirrely out of turn one, though. So not a great start for Lou Simmons. He's going to burn everything down this straight, down towards turn 3. We'll see what his sector time is on the exit of turn 4. Down to turn 3. Very nicely done from Lou Simmons. Now turn 4 down the gears. Oh, nearly into the wall. That looked a little dicey, but he's gotten it stopped. And down towards the sector line, he is a tenth and a half down. Yeah, that was a scrappy turn 1. Mahmoud has been given a 5-place grid penalty for illegal blocking. That is a shame for him. J. Cole on a lap just behind in the Haas as well. He's coming through turn 4, so we're about to see if he's improving. As he comes over the line, 3/10 it is for J. Cole. That could get him up into the top 7, but he's going to need more than that if he wants to get any higher. Lou Simmons up ahead. He's coming through down towards the end of the middle sector, but he's not running his ERS anymore. That is going to be that for qualifying for Lou Simmons. No improvement. What about Aces? What can he do? He's 2 seconds down. No improvement for him either. So we'll stay on board with J. Cole as he comes through the same set of corners just behind in his Haas. He's using as little ERS as possible so he can use it all down the final straight. Big lock up there, down through turn 15 and through the final braking zone he goes. He's 7/10 up. This could be huge from J. Cole. If he nailed that final corner, this could be up to into the top 6 for him. As it stands, he's using everything he's got down this final straight towards the line. J. Cole, what can he do? 30% ERS left. He's got so little left, and he's run out as he heads towards the line for the final time in this session. He goes to P3. What a lap from J. Cole. A huge, huge improvement right at the end. Stephen Vasso not improving. Finley is improving through sector 1. What about the middle sector? He's lost a 10th in that middle sector, so he's going to need a mighty final braking zone to get this done, and it was a little bit squirrely, so it wasn't perfect. I think Stephen Vasso is going to have pole position here, but by how much is the question. Johnny Stokes into the top 5. There's a Red Bull. That is Speed Alcoholic to 4th place. Big improvement for him. The Ferrari of Chowder goes to P3. What can Finley do? It's not enough. He misses out by just over a 10th. And there's more people coming off the line. That's Zoxirus finally gets a lap in, and he beats his teammate as well to P9 for now. Mahmoud stays 12th and stays 11th, gets beaten by Trugster. And Clemo is down to 11th place, but he's improving by a lot as the championship leader. This is only going to be enough for the top 10, though, as it stands. He comes across the line. It's only 9th for Clemo, and he's going to need a huge race performance if he wants to avoid a big drop in terms of the championship standings. Robin Brain did get a lap in, but it was only enough for 6th place in the end. And that is going to be your qualifying session. Top 2 far and away as we expected, but everyone else rather close up and down the grid. This is going to be a great race. So, as we expected, Stephen Vasso on pole with Finley alongside him on the front row. Then it's the 2 Italians, Chowder and J. Cole on the second row. And Speed Alcoholic joins Robin Brain, his teammate, on row 3. Then it's Johnny Stokes, Season 6 champ, Lou Simmons in P8, and Clemo, the championship leader, all the way down in 9th. That is a surprise. Zoxirus down in 10th. Trugster, Mahmoud, Aces, Jacko, Scott, Barvish, and Eisenborg make up the rest of the grid. Wow, it's a big deal for Clemo to be that far down. He hasn't really shown any weaknesses so far this season. Every track he's been absolutely on it, but not today. He's quite far down, and he's got a lot of work to do in the race. So here we go. We're going to have the formation lap first of all. And Stephen Vasso, who's going to lead us off. Let's have a quick look at the tyres. It is an even split pretty much up and down the grid. We've got half the grid on mediums and half the grid on hards. Is it exactly half? 2, 5, 6, 7, 8. It is exactly half as much as we can get. 8 on hards, 9 on mediums. So interesting split today up and down the grid. Finley going on the mediums is especially interesting. So we'll have to see how that goes in the first stint, especially. But second stint, those who started on the hards are going to be much faster. And, Stephen Vasso is going to be comfortable. His usual spot of pole position. But, I'm sure Finley is going to really take the challenge to him today. Certainly hope so. Oh, that's a shame. That is race over for Zoxius as he disconnects and gets given the bug that instantly DNFs him. That's a huge shame for Zoxy. It might even break the lobby, so stay tuned, folks. We might have a reset on our hands. But let's see. So Stephen Vasso is going to take his place at the head of the grid. As everyone else files down the straight. Who has spun? Scott, how have you spun on the formation lap, mate? Zoxy is back in the lobby, but I don't think it's going to give him control of his car. I think he's going to be disappointed from this one. He's going to have to hope for a lobby reset. Right, stay tuned, everyone. Let's see if the lobby breaks or not. Let's have a look. I'm on board with Chalder, just in case it doesn't. It looks like we're going. Are we? Oh, we are going. Wow. 3, 4, 5 red lights, and we're underway very quick. It's a drive-through for Scott at the back, but it's Vasso who leads through turn 1. Chalder ahead of J. Cole, who has a little look down the inside, but it pays the price from speed going around the outside on the exit. Brilliant move from the South African as he's up to P4. We've got more side-by-side action further back as Lou Simeon's getting a battle on with Clemo as well through turn 1. We've got Mahmood and Trugster side by side as well. Barvish going down the inside of the V-Cub driver. Mahmood straight into the wall, goes straight on at the turn 3 braking zone, and Finley takes the lead meanwhile of the Baku Grand Prix. Vasso back down the inside. There's contact as they go through turn 5. Very, very close to disaster early on there. Hello to Harris in the chat. We've got a few people side by side further back. That's Johnny Stokes on the inside of J. Cole through turn 7. Very, very tight between them in this section of the track. Surely not side by side through Castle. Johnny Stokes yields and J. Cole stays ahead. But very close between a lot of drivers on this opening lap. Great stuff as Finley now tries to charge down up the track and try and gap Stephen Vasso early on here on those medium tyres. He's doing exactly that for now. Over 1 second is the gap. He needs it to stay at over 1 second. But Vasso, I'm sure, is going to burn plenty of ERS down this straight to try and stay with the McLaren, but neither of them have got a lot left. Chalder's got plenty in his Ferrari, and the 2 Red Bulls just behind as well, looking very good at this stage on their hard tyres. And we've got Clemo alongside Lou Simeons again. He looks to the outside, but he's run out of ERS seemingly. He looks to the inside now into turn 1. Is he going to break late? The championship leader putting it all on the line perhaps, but he backs out in the end and stays in P9. And this is going to be quite an effort for Clemo to get a lot out of this race. Who's that? Robin Brain losing it on the exit of turn 2. By the looks of things, he's lost 2 positions to J. Cole and Johnny Stokes. It's Johnny Stokes on the inside of the Haas as they go through. There's contact, inevitable really, and Zoxyrus out of the session as well. That's I think that's the same bug as before. He's disconnected and the game's DNF'd him, but contact between Johnny Stokes there and I think it was Robin Brain or J. Cole, and into the wall they went. Johnny Stokes, the biggest loser, he's down to 14th, is the season 6 champ, and Mahmood all the way down. Scott has gone straight on. Oh no, who's that? No, it's Zoxyrus, sorry. Zoxyrus is DNF'd car, but Steven Vasso has managed to stay with Finley. Crucially, he's in DRS range, and Finley unable to jump the Sauber driver like he would have hoped for. He goes very, very far over the curb there at turn 15, but it's not going to be enough. The DRS detection point is coming up in the middle of this straight. 9.5 tenths. It's 1 second. It's going to be very close. Vasso's run out of ERS. He might not get it actually. 1.06. It's going to be close. I don't think he's got it. Neither of them have got a lot left, but it's Finley who's got the advantage. No DRS for Vasso, and Chalder does have it. He could cause some serious problems for the Sauber driver here if he wants to, but he doesn't. He's saving his ERS. He's just sitting behind for now, is the Italian, as Robin Brain, he's not sitting behind. He gets past J. Cole. Barvish down the inside of Jacko and Clemo for P7. Clemo, the championship leader, trying to get back at him on the exit. He's going to go down the inside of turn 2, and Clemo's back up to P8, but there's contact. Clemo into the wall. Is there damage to the Mercedes? I think there might be. No, he's somehow gotten away with that, but Barvish and Clemo coming to bear there. Clemo round the outside, he goes up to P8 and keeps the position in the end. Robin Brain getting back past J. Cole as well, as Steven Vasso is still not able to keep up with Finley. 1.2, it's very, very close, but he just can't get in that DRS range at the moment. He is going to be better in the second stint, but at what cost, you have to wonder, as Chalder's going to put him under a whole host of pressure now in this early phase of the race. 1.8 seconds. Vasso really struggling this lap. 1.9 now, as Chalder is going to have the DRS all the way down to turn 1. A lot of big gaps forming already up and down the grid, as Clemo is under a huge amount of pressure now. He's got to get the most out of this race that he possibly can. He is P8 at the moment. Jackalacco next up the road. He is on the hard, so he is going to have a better second stint, but he's just going to have to suffer for now, unfortunately, is the German. As Steven Vasso is 1.8 seconds behind our race leader Finley, and Chalder is within 6 tenths. Is he going to use any ERS here, the Ferrari? No, he's not. He's happy to just stick behind the Sauber for now. DRS not able to make a move. He knows that Vasso would just pass him straight away with the DRS again, and he's probably better chances at the moment to stay behind and just work with the Sauber driver. The risk, of course, is if Vasso starts getting into the groove on those hard tyres and gaps him in the corners, and then there's not much Chalder's going to be able to do about it. But at the moment, he's doing well, the Italian, as Clemo making a move down the inside of the Scottish driver, Jackalacco. He gets it done. He's up to P7, but he's 2 seconds behind J. Cole, and he's going to be extremely vulnerable on the main straight down towards turn 1 as Clemo. He's got to try and build a gap here through the rest of the circuit, but Jacko's on better tyres. He should be able to stick with him, and I think we are seeing the championship leader's first weak track of the season. He's been strong at every single track so far on this calendar, but Baku seems to be a bit of an Achilles heel for Clemo so far. Big mistake from Jacko there, and Barvish is going to come at him here in this very tricky section of track. Oh my goodness me, backs out just about in time, but Barvish was really running at the ragged edge there, going for a move at that section of track. Goodness me, that was basically a suicide note, going for a move there, but he just about backed out in time. Jacko's got the DRS from Clemo, but he's 7 tenths back, so I'm not sure he's going to be able to make a move here, and Clemo just going to have to try his best to catch up to the cars ahead. while Chowder still sticking behind Stephen Vasso for P3 at the moment, as the gap to Finley has stabilised. It's staying at around 1.8 now. Not really gone up or gone down in the last couple laps. And Chowder just doing everything he can at the moment. He's doing a fantastic job. He's already 4.5 seconds ahead of speed, and yeah, that definitely had me sweating as well, Harris, in the chat. J. Cole down the inside of Robin Brain for P5 in the meantime at turn 3. Robin Brain back at him though with a switchback on the exit. Round the outside he sweeps. Brilliant move from Robin Brain. Goodness me, I don't know how they didn't make contact there, but they've gotten away with that, and it's good news for Clemo because he's now right within DRS range of them thanks to that battle, and the championship leader going to be looking to propel himself further up the grid. I think top 5 has got to be the goal for Clemo here from this race. Certainly looks like the best he can manage right now. Just doesn't seem to have the pace at the moment, Clemo. He's been a little bit down on his luck before this season, and he's always gotten a result out of it. So can he do the same today is the question, as Robin Brain a little bit squirrely up ahead. J. Cole sizing up a move through turn 16, but backs sensibly out of it. The gap to Finley is coming down a little bit. It's down to 1.6 now for Stephen Vasso. As here we go, all the way down the straight. Robin Brain's going to get absolutely mugged here. It's DRS for everyone behind him, and Clemo gets through. So does J. Cole. Clemo trying to get J. Cole as well down the inside of turn 1, and he does so. He's into the top 5, but he's going to be vulnerable on the run to turn 3 if he's not careful. It's a little bit of a squirrely exit of turn 1, and J. Cole almost into the back of the Mercedes, and that is a lifeline for the German, because J. Cole now is not going to be able to make a move. Neither is Robin Brain, who gets past the Haas. It's perfect for Clemo, this battling. J. Cole sweeps around the outside but goes straight on. It's a disastrous mistake for J. Cole, the newbie this season. And straight on he goes into the escape road, and he's down to 11th place now, a long way behind. That's a big shame for him. Jakalako absolutely adores this track, and you can definitely see it. He's up in P7. He's usually scrapping for the last available points in ESRL this season, but today he's looking for a lot better. He absolutely loves this. Strange track to be a favourite of, because it's really difficult, but something about Jakalako and Baku just really clicks. As J. Cole getting through on Lou Simeons in a very unconventional place on track. That was Trugster clattering over the curb just a bit ahead, and now Stephen Vasso has gapped Chowder. The time has come for those hards to really get their pace in, and 1.3 seconds is the gap. That is going to come down to DRS range, I'm sure, on this lap. Finley looking vulnerable now. And Stephen Vasso breathing down the race leader's neck. Chowder a long way back. He's going to be, I think, resigned to 3rd place at best here, unless Speed Alcoholic can catch in the second stint on the better tyres. Johnny Stokes, meanwhile, getting past J. Cole, as is Lou Simeons. Oh, no, never mind. Lou Simeons into the wall just ahead of them, and that's surely going to be wing damage. It is for the Ferrari driver. Unfortunately, no front right end plate, and that, I think, is going to be an early bath for Lou Simeons. Let's see, Finley now under pressure. Was that Chowder into the wall? It was. Chowder goes straight on at turn 7, loses the front left end plate. It's a huge mistake from the Ferrari driver, and now Speed Alcoholic within 4 seconds of him. The South African possibly looking at a podium today if he can keep this up, but Clemo is now hunting him down. He's found his form finally as the championship leader, and if he can get a podium out of this race, I mean, goodness me, can anything stop him? But Robin Brain 2 seconds behind. That's Jack Alacco with a massive slide out of turn 15. He just about gets away with it. Loses the place to Barvish, though. He's down to P8. Oh, and that's Barvish into the wall just ahead. He loses the rear. I think he just about managed to avoid the wall, but that was very, very close indeed. Finley into the pits, an early stop, surely for the hard tyres for the McLaren driver and race leader, and that's going to be Vasso now leading this Grand Prix. Finley onto those hards to the end. Chalder's going to do the same. Onto the hard tyres he goes. Interesting early stops coming in. Jack Alacco staying out, as does Trugster. Barvish in as well. Johnny Stokes also staying out, as well as everyone behind him. Aces having a little swapsy with J. Cole there down to turn 1. Finley is not in clean air. He's come out right behind Trugster and Jacko. It's a disaster here for the former race leader. He's going to try and go around the outside of Trugster. Oh, and he's gone straight on. Disaster for Finley. Jacko's done exactly the same thing. They've both gone straight on at turn 3. And that is surely Finley's bid for this race win over, unless we have a safety car in this race to bring him back into this. But it's a horrible mistake from Finley. The pressure was on to overtake Trugster at that point in track, and it didn't pay off. He didn't get it quite right. And he and Jacko have lost a huge amount of time now. That's very unfortunate for the both of them. But Stephen Vasso now easily the favourite to win this race. And Chalder actually a long way ahead of Finley now. Well, not a long way, about 2.5 seconds. But he's doing a lot better now, although he didn't repair his wing damage. So that is going to cost him for the rest of this race, unless we get a safety car at some point. But it's great news for Speed Alcoholic. Even better news for Clemo, who is catching the South African still. 2.5 seconds is now the gap, as the championship leader, well, he looked down earlier on in qualifying and at the beginning of this race, but he was definitely not out, and he is proving that now. He's up to 3rd place. He's charging after Speed Alcoholic 2.1 seconds. He looks like he might well get a podium out of this after all, with the mistake from Finley and also the mistake from Chalder. Suddenly P2 could even be on for Clemo at this stage, which is quite remarkable. I mean, if he can get that from this race, you might as well call this championship, because just nothing can stop him at the moment. Barvish getting past Eisenborg further back meanwhile, and Finley making up another place as well, down to turn 3, and that is down the inside of Johnny Stokes. McLaren driver up into 7th place, and it's definitely a recovery drive on for Finley now, as Aces getting past Lou Simeons for P10. Finley, Chalder his next target, 2 seconds up the road. He will probably catch that relatively quickly, although Chalder was quick in the first stint. But Finley qualified some 8/10 faster than him, so you know, the difference in pace is clear to see. Finley 1.8 behind the Ferrari now, as Lou Simeons gets past Aces versus Kings, who's had a big mistake. Unfortunately, has the Alpine driver through that very tricky castle section, and that is one mistake too many. He's lost a lot of time. And a few positions as well, unfortunately. Those mediums look tough to drive on as it stands. Is Trugster going to come in for the hards? No, he's staying out another lap, I think. Yes, indeed. And off he goes. Chalder now only 1.6 ahead of Finley, 1.5 as they go down the straight. Finley is charging him down, and we've got a pit stop just in behind them. That is Johnny Stokes, as he comes in for his scheduled stop for the hard tyres. J. Cole also in for the same reason, but Jacko's staying out, interestingly, on the medium tyres. Continuing to chase down that Ferrari. Who's that in the background? Was that someone into the wall in the background? It certainly looked like it, but I don't think so. It doesn't look like anyone's spun out on the mini-map, so I think we're good. That was a little weird, though. Let's put gap to leader on the screen. It's 25 seconds between Finley and Stephen Vasso. As it stands, I think Finley is going to be well behind the race leader. Hello to Kevin Farrar. Oh, that's Zoxyrus. Hi, Zoxyrus in the chat. Chowder with a big mistake as I'm saying hi to Zoxyrus, and surely through goes Finley. He does indeed, but Chowder will have the DRS down to turn 1. That's actually not what Finley wanted. He would have wanted to have the DRS so that he could gain some time on the race leader, but that hasn't happened. And now he is ahead of the Ferrari. Chowder clattering over the curb. Is he even going to get DRS? 9.5 tenths. Goodness me, it's going to be close. Johnny Stokes getting past Scott. But yeah, that's such a shame for you, Zoxy. I hate that bug with people disconnecting and then immediately DNFing. I wish they'd fix it, but they still have not done so. That's a real shame for you. You were looking very, very decent from qualifying as Finley sets the fastest lap. Chowder just behind him, half a second, as Truckster and Jacko now take their pit stops, and they're going to be well down actually once they come out the pits. So especially Jackalacko, after his mistake, he's going to be absolutely gutted with that mistake. Like I said, he loves this track, never wants to make a mistake like that here, but he is in a good position still. He may be down in P12, but he's going to have the DRS, and he's going to be on the fresher tyres than particularly Eisenborg and Scott. So as long as he manages to stay with Johnny Stokes, he's still got a chance at decent points today. Mahmood retires in the pit lane, unfortunately. He calls it a day as Trugster makes a big mistake by the looks of things, and Barvish has gotten through. Maybe there was contact, I'm not sure. I didn't quite see what happened, but either way, Barvish is up to P8. As Finley now 5 seconds behind Robin Brain, and Clemo is right behind Speed Alcoholic. Oh, goodness me, huge mistake from the German through turn 16. He's just about held onto it, but that was very, very close indeed to disaster for the Mercedes driver. Speed Alcoholic just ahead of him as Clemo is going to have the DRS, but I think he's too far behind to make any sort of move at this stage. To turn 1, and he does indeed stay right behind the Red Bull, but down the gears he's so much more confident on the brakes than Speed into turn 1, and surely it's only a matter of time here. The inevitability of it all is what Speed must be feeling, because this is not the first time that Clemo has hunted him down from seemingly nowhere this season. And well, it's these two again. It's looking like it's going to be a battle for the podium places. Finley's 9 seconds down the road from the two of them, so they'll be happy to see him that far back, but if there's anyone who can catch that, it is going to be Finley. So I wouldn't count the chickens just yet if I was them, but it certainly seems like this is a battle for at least P3 and possibly P2 if Finley can't catch them, but he is probably going to be rapidly approaching them in the next 10 laps or so. Another mistake from Clemo though, and he's fallen back out that 1 second very briefly. He's back in now, but the pressure's on, the dirty air perhaps getting on Clemo's nerves as he goes through another mistake from Clemo that locks the rears into turn 15, and he needs to get 16 right or he's going to lose the DRS. He gets it relatively okay, but he's 9 tenths behind, and he's not as close as he would have wanted at all. The dirty air really costing Clemo here. As they head down towards turn 1, he will have the DRS though. He will be able to stay with the South African. Stephen Vasso a long, long way clear. He is long gone from this one. Although these four still do have to pit, don't forget. So actually, this is probably more like a battle for P3 or 4, actually, now that I think about it. Because these two do still have to pit. They will be on the mediums, but as we've already seen, those tyres don't seem to last very long. So it's going to be a tricky race still for these two. Speed Alcoholic and Clemo, they've had lightning pace in this first stint, but could the strategy come back to bite them? It's Lucimian's in, meanwhile, for a fresh front wing and some medium tyres fitted to his car. Chakalako's back in the points, but 1.9 behind Johnny Stokes. I think he's going to be scrapping it out for the last 1 or 2 points this race, as Trugster still sticking behind Barvish for now through turn 3. And Steven Vasso 15 seconds ahead. Camo still sticking with speed, but when are they going to pit? That is the question. When do they come in? How far can they go on the medium tyres? The race leaders in the first stint who were on mediums pitted as early as lap 6 or 7, I think it was. So it's a tricky decision for these guys. Straight they go. Clemo a lot closer this time if he wants to make a move. Don't think there's any pit stops coming yet, but Finley is rapidly approaching. He's caught them by 3 seconds since I last checked. Clemo down the inside of speed, and he takes second place on track. But I believe that's going to be a net P5 at this stage. But still plenty of opportunity for things to change. Finley around the outside of Robin Brain. Robin Brain doing his best to help his teammate out here. The Red Bull driver nearly forcing Finley into the wall after the latter set the fastest lap. But Finley is not going to be outdone by that. He is definitely going to have another go, but Robin Brain really doing speed a favour here at this stage. He is keeping Finley behind. Nearly goes straight on again, does Finley, the second time this race. He just about holds on to it. And through turn 3, Chalder 3 seconds behind. So he is going to be, I think, in a bit of no man's land in this race at this stage. Two Hasses swapping further back, but it's Finley right behind this Red Bull. Robin Brain going to try and cost him as much time as possible. That has not worked. It has finally, well, the defence has come unstuck. It was a big mistake from Robin Brain into turn 7. He locked the rears, and Finley said thank you very much and got his way through. But if Robin can stay in DRS, he will be able to have a go to try and get back at the McLaren into turn 1. And try and cost him even more time. Finley a little bit of a lock-up into turn 15. And another one into 16, but that one seemed under control. Vasso finally comes into the pits. Do Clemo and Speed follow in kind? Clemo, is he on the left side of the track? No, he's staying out. Speed is as well. So these two are going to lead this race. Clemo is going to be our race leader. Would you believe it? Heading on to lap 15. But if Steven Vasso just heading out on those mediums, he will catch them very, very quickly indeed, as Robin Brain does indeed get back past Finley down the inside, and he is doing a mighty job for his teammate here. He's keeping Finley behind. Chalder is 3 seconds down the road. Even he might get involved if this continues. But Finley now, he's got the DRS. He's using some ERS as well. He looks to the inside. He goes to the outside in the end. He gets past the Red Bull. Them again, will be able to cause Finley more problems on the run to turn 1. Through turn 3 they go! It's a huge error though on the exit from the Red Bull. He tried his absolute best to stay with that McLaren, but it's one mistake too many, and that is going to be Finley off up the road. But Robin Brain certainly did a number on that McLaren, cost him quite a bit of time there, I think, those last couple laps. He's just about gotten away with it, has the McLaren, and he should be comfortably, very comfortably ahead of Speed and Clemo when they come in. Steven Vasso has come out 6 seconds ahead, and so he is looking to easily cruise to victory in this one. He does have to clear Clemo and Speed, but I would imagine they'll be into the pits relatively soon. Here comes Vasso now. He's going to use his ERS surely to get past these two. He's going to have the DRS down to turn 1, and they're both going to be in anyway. So a clear track for Steven Vasso. Actually, no, Speed staying out. Interesting. He looked like he was going to come in, but he decided against it. I don't know how legal that is. He definitely went straight across the white line. But Steven Vasso now just ahead of the Red Bull. Speed with a big mistake into turn 2. And Vasso, I mean, that line through turn 2 was just absolutely outrageous. Nothing Speed could do. And that is Vasso back into the lead of this one. And he is going to cruise to victory by the looks of things, unless we get some drama still to come in this race. Clemo has exited just 6 seconds behind Chalder. He's definitely going to be ahead of Speed from the undercut, you would think. as Johnny Stokes getting past Barvish further back. Jacko 3.8 behind this little battle, so he's going to be hoping they battle a lot more than this so he can get himself into this. Still no track limits penalties, by the way, across the board. That's very impressive from ESRL, as Barvish to the inside of Johnny Stokes, never one to shy away from an overtake opportunity, and he gets ahead just about. Johnny left the room, and he has to yield in the end. Barvish up to 7th place, but Jacko is catching. That is 7/10 that he's gained out of that, and he'll be hoping for more than that as the laps tick by. Speed Alcoholic surely into the pits this lap, you would think. Finley some 7 seconds behind Stephen Vasso, and that gap will only grow. So he's still looking like he's got P2 covered, even with that massive mistake he made into turn 3 earlier this race. Chalder 5 seconds behind. Clemo 5 seconds behind the Ferrari. Can he do this? Can he get himself onto an unlikely podium in this race? It's certainly possible, but whether he's got the pace to do it is the question. Speed into the pits for the medium tyres, and he's going to exit, but where is Clemo? Where is the Red Bull? Speed coming down the pit lane now. There's the Mercedes on the left-hand side of your screen. He sails past as they head through the pit lane. Speed is going to be well down here. Just one lap of undercut has cost Speed 2.5 seconds, and Clemo well ahead at this stage of the South African, and Speed just must be wondering what on earth he has to do to beat this guy at this stage. It just doesn't seem to happen for him. He doesn't quite have the pace to keep up. Wow. Right, so I had to take someone for a second. We're back to the action. Johnny Stokes, Barvish and Truckster still all wheel to wheel, and Jacko is closing in. 2.5 seconds. It comes down to 2.3 now, and the Scottish driver who adores this track after his massive mistake into turn 3 earlier on is now back in the fight for P7. He should really be leading the fight for P7. He should be well ahead of these guys if he hadn't made that mistake. But the recovery is on, and what a job he is doing. Speed is losing time to Clemo in the meantime. 2.8 now, and Clemo is only 3.5 behind Chalder. That is 1.5 seconds he's taken out of him this lap. And he's going to hope it's going to be more on the next lap. And that podium is looking ever more likely for the Mercedes driver. It's 6 seconds to Finley. I think that's going to be a step too far. Oh no! Big mistake! It's the first major error of the season for Clemo. And the championship leader is all the way down. It's going to be P6 for him. All the way down he goes. Robin Brain gets ahead. It's a disastrous error from Clemo. The first we've really seen from him all season long. And he is not invincible after all. Down to 6th place he goes, and surely now P5 is the best he can do from this race. That is not what he would have had in mind. Speed Alcoholic now becomes the driver with the best chance of a podium if it's not the current top 3. Who's that? That's Eisenborg with no front wing at turn 15. Meanwhile, no safety car coming out, luckily for the likes of Speed Alcoholic, as he charges down Chalder. That gap coming down at the similar rate at which Clemo was charging him down. So Speed has found some pace on these fresh mediums on this second lap on them. And through he goes, turn 15. Great stuff from Speed. It's a great view, that is, on the back end of turn 15. But here he comes, 5.1 seconds. Can he close down that Ferrari? Chalder on the podium, but could he pay for that big mistake he made earlier on this race? Finley certainly has. I think he would have been hard pressed to keep Stephen Vasso behind, even if he hadn't done that, but he would have at least had a chance, which is something he currently does not have, unless we get a safety car late on. 7.5 laps left to go. Robin Brain 3 seconds ahead of Clemo now. The championship leader trying to charge him down, but that is going to be very difficult at this stage. Speed, certainly the option to slow down and help his teammate out is not really on the table here, because Chalder is catchable and he will know it. 5 seconds is the gap. We'll see how much it comes down through the corners of this lap, through the tight corners, which is where he's going to gain the most time. 4.6 now. That is another half second. He has gouged out this lap. It's going to be more as he comes through the castle section, you would think. 4.4, 4.3 through the castle. He speeds straight through that section. It's beautiful to watch an F1 car go through that section. That's another couple tenths he's taken out of the Ferrari, and that is 1 second gone from that gap on this lap so far. There's still 2 major braking zones to go, but Chalder gotten that a lot better than Speed by the looks of it. Go Denko. Wait, wrong race. Yeah, Denko's not in this one, but you're very welcome anyway, Go Niwi. Good to see you. Thank you for joining in. We've got an exciting end to this race in prospect as Speed Alcoholic tries to chase down a podium. 4 seconds to Chalder, but the Ferrari much better on straight line speed. Look at that, half a second gained straight away back from the Red Bull on that straight down towards turn 1, but Speed needs to gain in the corners. That is where he's going to be strongest on these tyres, and he needs to do it quick as well, because the mediums, as we saw in the first stint, they don't last very long at all, and have to see how much more that gap comes down. Robin Brain 11 seconds behind, Clemo 3 behind him. He's not caught at all on these last few laps. And the championship leader, after that error, might have to settle for 6th place in this race, which would be disappointing for him. It would be his first real blunder of the season as Speed charges down that Ferrari. That is another 8 tenths he's carved out of that gap in that first sector. And now the castle section. You saw the rear end of the Ferrari as the camera switched to the back end of turn 7. And now Speed Alcoholic is within 3 seconds. It's 2.7 as they head through the middle sector. There's only 6 laps to go after this one, and Chalder is going to be hard pressed, I think, to keep this Red Bull behind. He's got damage as well to his front wing. He never repaired that damage that he got in the first stint, so it's doubly difficult for Chalder to keep that Ferrari behind. 2.5 seconds is the gap. How many laps will it take for Speed to close that down? You'd think maybe even 2 laps and he'll be in DRS range if he keeps on at the current pace. Robin Brain 12 seconds behind. Barvish is just behind Johnny Stokes as well. What's happened to Trugster and Jacko, I wonder, because Jacko was right behind that train and suddenly it's split into 2. With Johnny Stokes and Barvish a long way ahead, and Trugster and Jacko battling it out for 9th place. I didn't see what happened. We were too focused on the front. But Jay Cole has now joined this as a result of all of that. He's 1.6 behind. He's going to be in DRS fairly soon if they keep battling. Here comes Jacko to the inside, not using any ERS to make that move. And he is up to 9th place, but Jay Cole is in this. One of these drivers is going to miss out on points as it stands. But which one is the big question? J. Cole will certainly be hoping it's not him. Lucinian's aces and Scott a long way down in this race. Unfortunately, they'll be hoping for a safety car to spice things up. Stephen Basso a long way clear of Finley. That is going to be the top 2. But what about 3rd place? Speed Alcoholic within 1.8 seconds now of the Ferrari. And remember, Chalder had a big error at one point in this race. He went straight on at turn 3. He's lost some of his front wing as well. So he could be a lot further ahead than this, and he will be ruining this missed opportunity if he does get that podium snatched away by the South African. It's looking likely that's another second he's taken out of him out on that previous lap. And Speed now... Chalder will be able to see him in his rear view mirrors. Speed certainly is speedy. He wasn't speedy compared to Clemo earlier on, but the championship leader made a big mistake on the exit of turn 1. Went completely round and lost about 15 seconds. And now down he is in 6th place, trying to catch up to Robin Brain. That gap has come down this lap, 2.5 seconds. He might be able to salvage top 5 after all, but it's an uphill struggle for the championship leader. And with just 4.5 laps to go in this race, it's J. Cole who's taken P10. He's into the points. Trugster the victim, and Jackalacco is going to be next on his list. J. Cole looking quick at this stage, and Jacko will be desperately hoping he can get more than 1 point out of his favourite track. Speed Alcoholic though, 1.0 seconds as he goes through turn 7. That was a little shaky. He's getting nervous as he gets closer to the Ferrari. You tend to see this. It happened earlier with Clemo as well. It's not just Dirty Air. Who's that that's gone straight on? It's Trugster at turn 3. That's not the first time we've seen that error made today. And well, no front right end plate either on that V-carb. Meanwhile, Jacko with a 3-second penalty for track limits. Big lock-up into turn 7 as well. And I think J. Cole is going to be able to secure 9th place in this race, and possibly more if he gets some luck from the drivers ahead. But he's done well to recover after his mistakes earlier on. And now here comes Speed Alcoholic. He's got the DRS. This is going to be the move for the podium places. Speed Alcoholic takes 3rd place in this thrilling Azerbaijan Grand Prix. Chalder down to 4th. Surely not going to be able to keep up with that wing damage and those aging hard tyres. He's going to have to hope those mediums for Speed wear out pretty quickly. And, well, we saw them wearing out at this stage of the first stint, but Speed has the youngest tyres on the grid right now. And I don't think he is in any mood to give up that podium he's fought so hard for in this race. He had to have a bit of luck from Clemo binning it, but he has taken this opportunity by the scruff of the neck. And Speed Alcoholic looking very, very strong in this race. He just has to get to the end with no more mistakes. Time penalty for Finley. That was Chalder into the wall in the background. Is there more damage to the Ferrari? Could he lose out even more in this race? There might well be more damage. Nothing visual, but there could definitely be more loss of performance to the Italian's car. Robin Brain 12 seconds behind. If Chalder makes any more mistakes like that, he could be in danger of losing even a top 4 place. Clemo is back within range nearly of Robin Brain. 1.3 seconds. Just 3 laps to go at the end of this one. And this is going to be an epic battle between these two for 5th place, I think. I don't think either of them is going to want to give it up. Clemo, though, has more to lose as the leader of this championship. He'll be happy to see Finley pegged down to P2, I think, but given that the McLaren is closest rival in this championship at the moment, but he'll certainly be wanting to salvage as much as possible, and P5 is going to be what he's going to want. Speed Alcoholic 10 seconds behind Finley, but well over 4 seconds ahead of Chalder. He should be able to cruise to a very well-deserved podium in this race. I think he's my driver of the day from today's Speed. He's the only one I've seen other than Steven Vasso who hasn't made a major error at some point in this race. Finley and Chalder both went straight on at turn 3. Clemo had his bin in turn 1, and there's damage to that Red Bull. Meanwhile, Robin Brain has no front right end plate. I don't know when that happened, but Clemo smells blood. He is right behind the Red Bull. He's going to have the DRS down to turn 1 and will surely take 5th place in this race. He'll be able to salvage that at least. And through turn 7 you can see the extra downforce on that Mercedes. The clouds are very grey in the sky. I wonder if we might get a few drops of rain right at the end here. I think we'll probably be safe, but those skies look a little bit troubling at the moment. Right behind this Red Bull. Just 2 laps to go at the end of this one. This race has flown by, and this is the closest battle on track. Here comes Clemo. He's going to have the DRS. Stay patient, Clemo. He's He's certainly done that many times this season, staying patient, and it's really worked out for him. Here he goes. Oh my goodness, Robin Brain pushing him right towards the wall. The Red Bull using every last drop of his ERS, trying to help out his teammate as much as he can and keep that position. But Clemo is going to sweep around the outside. Robin Brain breaks as late as he dares. Is it too late? No, he just about gets it stopped. It's brilliant defending from Robin Brain. Absolutely phenomenal from the Red Bull. He goes into the wall though at turn 2. Is there more damage perhaps? No, it doesn't look like it visually at least, but Clemo is going to have to do better than that, says Robin Brain just ahead. But there's no ERS left now on that Red Bull. He's going to have to save as much as he can in the tight sections of this lap, but that's a disastrous mistake perhaps. We saw him do the same thing with Finley. He locked the rears and let Finley go, but this time he stays ahead. That was extremely impressive, I agree. Harris in the chat. Robin Brain doing everything he can to keep the championship leader behind, and it's working out so far. This is the battle to watch. There's nothing else really on track unless you count these two Alpines who are going wheel to wheel for P13 as well. Trugster right behind Lou Simeons too. But Jack Alacco actually has managed to gap J. Cole. Meanwhile, I don't know how that happened, but because J. Cole was right in DRS, but Jacko now perhaps could manage to get rid of that 3 seconds to J. Cole that he needs to secure P9 after all. But we cut back to the front because here comes Clemo again. Second time lucky perhaps. We've only got 1 lap to go at the end of this one, so Clemo needs to make this work. But Robin Brain will have the DRS in the final lap. If it doesn't quite happen, Robin Brain squeezes to the wall again, but Clemo's going to use his ERS to get ahead this time. He's going to have the DRS all the way down to turn 1. Robin Brain trying to find a way through, but there's no late braking this time. He has to stick behind, and he's going to have to hope he can stick with the Mercedes on this final lap to try and stay within DRS and give himself one last chance down on the run to the line. But it's going to be very tricky. He's got the DRS down to turn 3, but he's not got a lot of ERS in the tank. Clemo has more left, so it's advantage to the championship leader in this thrilling battle for P5, and that's even more advantage. That's a big time gain for the Mercedes. Lou Simeons down the inside of Trugster for P11 further back. Jacko not able to gap J. Cole. Can he get within DRS of Barvish though? He might be able to get P9 a different way if he can get past this McLaren on this final lap. Meanwhile though, Steven Vasso takes a dominant victory in Baku. No mistakes from the Sauber driver. He wins the Azerbaijan Grand Prix. Finley's going to come home for a P2 he'll be mildly disappointed with, but I think he'll recognise even without the mistake he would have had a hard time staying with Steven Vasso. Speed Alcoholic, a very, very impressive podium for him. He's my driver of the day for today. Clemo has managed to get out of the 1 second range of Robin Brain. Can the Red Bull get back into it? No, he can't. Clemo should be able to secure P5 after his first major mistake of the season. That still salvages some decent points out of it. Here's Jack Alacco. He's right behind Barvish. He's going to drain everything he's got on this final straight. Can he get him on the run to the line, I wonder? Here we go. He's going to have the DRS. Barvish using everything he's got as well. He knows that this is potentially an opportunity for the Scotsman down towards the line. It's going to be a drag race. Is it? No, Jack Alacco gets him on the line. Brilliant stuff from Jacko. He secures 9th place despite the penalty. He'll be absolutely delighted with that. He gets him by just under a 10th. J. Cole P8 thanks to the no penalties to his name. A good recovery from him. Johnny Stokes secured 7th place as well in the midst of all of that. And Lou Simeons beats Trugs to the line as well. Who's going to win the Alpine drag race? It's going to be Aces who gets past Scott for 15th place. Or 12th place rather, I think. No, it would have been 13th because someone DNF'd. But wow, what a finish to that race. It wasn't the most exciting race from start to finish of this season. But the end more than made up for it. What a finish. And what a race from Steven Vasso, Finley and Speed Alcoholic. All three did well, but Finley with that mistake early on, he'll be slightly disappointed, but Speed will be absolutely delighted. Maximised result for him. It is Steven Vasso who wins the Azerbaijan Grand Prix, followed by Finley and Speed. Chalder secures 4th place in the end, but it didn't look like he would for quite a while there. Clemo manages to salvage 5th place in a bit of a race to forget for him. It looked like he might somehow manage to snatch a podium from out of nowhere, as he has done already this season. But wasn't to be today. Big mistake on the exit of turn 1, and he can only manage 5th. Robin Brain finishes where he started, as does Johnny Stokes in P7. J. Cole gets P8 thanks to the penalties for Jacko and Lou Simeon's, Jacko and Barvish, excuse me. But Jacko manages to get Barvish with a drag race to the line. That was fantastic from Jacko. Lou Simeon's will be P11, then it'll be Trugster, Aces, and Scott, with Eisenborg, Mahmoud, and Zoxurus unable to finish the race. Well, absolutely thrilling that was at the end there. A quick championship update for you all. So it is going to be, but going into this race, Clemo was 21 points ahead of Finley. That will now be slashed down. Finley will get 18 points and Clemo will get... Oh, how many will he get? He'll get 10 points from this race. So that will be slashed all the way down to 13 points, the gap between those two. And Clemo still yet to finish outside the top 5 this season. But he needs some more podiums. And he needs to curb this gain from Finley, who's in great form these last 3 rounds. Steven Vasil will close up a bit as well. He was 46 behind going into this one. He'll be a lot closer now. He'll be 15 points closer to be exact, so 31 behind he should be. And Speed Alcoholic should be able to jump Johnny Stokes in the standings as well, and he will get himself into 4th place in the standings, which I think if he finishes there, he'll be very, very happy. As for the constructors, it was McLaren and Mercedes is the duel at the moment for the constructors, but with Zoxurus DNFing, I think McLaren will be able to extend that gap. I'm really happy with the race tonight. This is my first race. I did not make any major mistakes all race long. Very happy. And yeah, you deserve Driver of the Day, Speed. Well done. Fantastic race from you. Very well deserved podium. Congratulations. So there we have it, everyone. Thank you ever so much for watching. We'll be back next week for round number 8, where we will be heading to Monaco for this season. 5 rounds to go, and do not miss Monaco. It's going to be a very special race, I'm sure, as it always is. But in the meantime, thank you all ever so much for watching. Have a lovely weekend, and happy Valentine's Day as well. So thank you all so much. I'll see you next week for more ESRL. Goodbye.